Alright, so I started recording this video yesterday. I went over, me live trading some of the ideas that I had, or deciding not to trade them. And I'm going to leave that part of the video in, but if you want to skip to the most recent development with us breaking above this range high, then I will have timestamps down below. But yeah, I think there is some good information in the recordings I did yesterday, so I'm going to leave that in. But yeah, anyways, on to the video. Alright, it's Friday morning, and I have not done a lot of trading this week. I have taken a few scalp trades, but nothing to really write home about. So let's try and come up with some plans for today. I still have these ideas that I've been looking at for however long it's been, but let's see if we can come up with some other ideas, maybe some more locally. So first, establishing context. I'm not going to go through all the higher time frame stuff, but we have ranges within ranges right now. We got this mid time frame range, and if you look inside of that mid time frame range, we've been trading in lower time frame ranges within this area. Little range here. You can say that from this high to this low was a range. We just took out the high of the range. Maybe we're even trading in a lower time frame range right here in between this high and this low. And I would say this range is the most immediate price action I'd look to trade. One of my ideas is taking out this high and taking out some of the liquidity from these highs back here. That trade has been on my screen for a while. I just kind of modified it as we got this move up to front run that area once again. And I would also be interested in a trade from this low now. This, is a bit of a range. It's not the best range. We're not really rotating like all the way to the high and to the low, but, it still is a sideways range, and there is a bit of confluence below this point. Taking a fixed range pull of the mid time frame range, starting from this high back here. The point of control is right below us at 59, almost 300. We'll round up. So that is coming in right below this low, and there was also another point of control coming in right above it, but that does seem to have changed a little bit. You can say we have a value area low of the different pull for the more local range, but I also noticed that if you take the uptrend of the range from this low up to this high, there we go. The point of control, the uptrend, is coming in where that local point of control was coming in previously. So I'll just change that to uptrend. It is slightly different now, but there is still a zone of high volume coming in right below this low, which can be looked at as a local range. So therefore, I think I would be interested in longs from this low. And at this point, I think, looking at the extreme ends of the range are probably going to be the highest probability ideas. Anything in the middle here is going to be much lower probability, much sketchier, a lot higher chance that you will take a loss on the trade, and I don't exactly want to take any losses right now. And, there's a bit more confluence down here, a little anchored VWAP creeping its way up. This is from the low of the range, so that is significant. Probably going to be around the range low by the time we get down there, but, you can always look at us wicking out the anchored VWAP coming into this area, then reclaiming it again. So I will check back in if I end up taking one of these trades. Alright, so we just took out those highs. Something I want to point out off the bat is there is certainly divergence potential, at least there was a few minutes ago the last time I checked. And yeah, on the 1 hour, clear momentum div potential. Money flow's trying to put in a higher high, so that is not exactly the strongest, but you can see on multiple time frames, we have the divergence potential from this high, basically the high of the local range. And as we go down in time frames, we start seeing that there is more money flow div potential on the 30-minute, and on the 15-minute, money flow is getting an aggressive move at the moment, but it still can diverge from back here. Another important thing is there is local divergences from this high up to where we're at, not just from the range high. So there is potential to diverge from here. Money flow seems like it might be voiding those, but let's check the 5-minute. There is definitely a 5-minute money flow div potential here. So at the very least, if I'm going to trade this, I need to see it close as an SFP. And it does not look like we are going to close the 15 as an SFP. It's closing in 6 seconds, so that is not ideal. Going over to Coinalyze, there was a lot of people that just got stopped out. CVD, massive move to the upside. OI, massive move down. That means that shorts did get stopped out on this move to the upside, so that is what we wanted to see. However, if we don't get an SFP to go along with it, then it does not really matter. Now, we still could potentially close the 30-minute and some of the higher time frames as an SFP. This is still technically within like the boundaries of my idea. However, if we start coming down now, if we wait for the 30-minute to close, there's a good chance it could close like all the way down here. And if, we just start wicking back down and we decide to enter, price could move back to the upside. By the time the 30-minute candle closes, it could still close as a break. So this is kind of a tough situation. But at the very least, I would like to see some candles start closing back below this low. I think I would probably want to go with a 5-minute candle close. Like if we're not going to get a 15-minute SFP, I'd want to at least see that we're going to stay below here for long enough for some candles to close. That's kind of my logic here. Unfortunately, that may mean that I miss the entry because we're dumping very aggressively at the moment. What I could do is I could enter with like half of my position, like take half the risk, which is something I think I might actually do. I take a 0.5% risk on this one, so let me get the calculator out. Alright, so I did take a 0.5% risk on this trade. My risk reward did definitely get messed up. Had to enter late there. And yeah, I mean, even just targeting these point of controls down here is only like a 2-to-1. But what I would hope for is I would hope for some kind of opportunity to add to this trade, maybe even move my stop loss down to something more local, and I can just start building a position from there. But if not, at least I'm in some kind of short trade from here. This was a very aggressive rejection after stopping those guys out. Doesn't mean that is necessarily going to work. I mean, I may get stopped out here. We'll see. There's a reason I only took half of a percent risk on this one rather than a full percent risk. It's a very aggressive move. This was kind of a risky one, but this is a significant area. There's a more significant high above us, but Bitcoin recently has been front running some very key levels. So this is definitely something I would be willing to take a bit of a risk on. And maybe this can bring us down to this long idea. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. Alright, so I did add to this trade on a retest. This trade started working out. We are now retracing, hitting off the golden pocket, and I'm basically adding to the trade because if there's going to be a lower high, it will probably come in here. Maybe we have to, continue going up a little bit. But I have to admit, I'm not seeing, everything that I would want to see. First off, the money flow on some time frames is making this a little bit sketch. There is some slight money flow divs on the higher time frames, though, like on the 45-minute, that is a div. On the 2-hour, we can also see a money flow div. So I think the higher time frame confirmations are there. They're not, the greatest, but they are there. And now, as we are retracing up, we had a green dot print on the 15. It looks like it's starting to potentially clip off with the VWAP starting to curve over a little bit. The lower time frames are reflecting that. The 5-minute just printed a red dot. And 3-minute, we're seeing a lower high with money flow and momentum basically as we are running into the golden pocket. Now, I was hoping we would see some extra confirmation here like absorption. We're not really seeing that. We did see some shorts close out their positions right here, though. We again saw CBD get a move to the upside and open interest come down, showing that shorts were closing. So maybe that was the reason for this retracement, get some of those shorts to close out, right? The market makers don't want too many people profiting from a potential move to the downside, do they? So yeah, I decided to add and make this a 1% risk. It might be a little bit more because I did leave my stop loss a little bit loose above here, so maybe it's like 1.2%, including fees. But this is an idea I've planned for a while. I think the higher time frame confirmations are there, so this is a trade I'm willing to take. Now, I would like to see us lose this value area low again. I think if we, come down to retest this and then start breaking higher, that's not really a good sign for my trade. I may consider closing out early in that case. But, I think this trade starts to look a lot better if we can, again, start falling below this value area low and, of course, then start taking out some of these lows. Alright, so I did close this trade out as soon as we, broke above the 786. We kind of started SFPing above these highs, so I was keeping it open through that. But once I saw we were breaking above the 786, I closed it out. So I was able to take less than a 1% loss on that. I think it was like 0.75. So yeah, that one ended up being a loss. The trade did temporarily work if I had a better entry, like if I entered as soon as we started reclaiming this high. I think I could have taken profits around these lows. I mean, it would have been like a 2-to-1. That's not really a great trade, but it did work temporarily, and yeah, ultimately it just didn't end up being a great trade. It is what it is. Not every plan is going to be a great trade. So at this point, we are taking out the range high. We have gotten some very bullish price action today. And here's the thing, I am not going to take a trade from this level just because it's a significant level if there's not confirmations to go along with it. And it does seem like we are avoiding many of the divergences that we had earlier. Momentum got a very sharp move to the upside. Money flow is continuing to push to the upside. We are not seeing any divergences from where momentum was at back here to where we're at now. We're seeing that it's putting in higher highs, and the money flow is moving to the upside as well, potentially voiding some of the divs that we were seeing on the 1 hour we already have. So I'm not going to be taking confirmationless trades. If something develops, if maybe we start ranging here or something, and I get some kind of local setup, that may be a way to short this. But I am not just going to click enter on this trade because we could very well break out of this range. We are above the value area low. We may see continued bullish price action from this. This is a very key level, so I will be patient. I'll wait and see what happens. All right, it is the next day now. It is Saturday, and I think it is safe to say that we did not SFP this range high. It was not looking like we were going to. The higher time frames, market cipher was really showing continuation. We got a very strong push to the upside with momentum and money flow as we got that last move up. There were some, misleading indications here, and I mean, it did give a temporary reversal, but the divergences basically disappeared by the time we got up to this high. And like I said, I wanted to see some kind of a valid local setup, and I mean, going to the lower time frames, we did start to form some divergences as we got to move up here, but we never lost the range high. This green line is the range high. We came back, tested it as support, formed some divergences as, we put in another high, but then we just kept putting in higher lows. We never reclaimed the range, so I didn't take a short. Now at this point, we have broken this little range that we were trading in below the value area low. We closed daily candles above it, and we closed the daily candle significantly back within the range. So, as far as I'm concerned, I am now looking at the point of control as a target. And I did enter a little long trade here. I'm hoping that this will be a continuation play. I will probably look to de-risk this by the time we get up to this high, but I am hoping that I'll be able to take profits a little bit higher. I did take a 2% risk with this one, so, a little bit more risky than my usual trade, but I like the confirmations. And I think the higher time frames definitely back this idea up. Just because we broke back into the value area doesn't mean we have to come immediately to the point of control. We could see a larger retrace first, and I could get stopped out. But, yeah, like I said, it looked like things were aligning with the confirmations that I got. So I think I'm going to do some top-down analysis. We'll take a look at market cipher, and something's already catching my eye down there. And then I'll probably end this video off. I want to, get an update out there about us breaking back into this range, but I also don't want to throw away the footage from earlier, so I'll probably include them both in the video. And looking at the weekly time frame, what have we got down here? We got a green dot, a green circle that is saying go, traffic light. But for real, this is, what I wanted to see here. I'm glad that this is starting to print prior to the weekly candle closing. That means that if this stays here, we will have confirmed a, at least a trigger wave of sorts. It's a continuation because it is a higher low in 1 day and 8 hours. And yeah, the last trigger wave that we had got snuffed out pretty quickly. Will that happen again? Potentially, but, even in that case, I think we still have some room to move to the upside. And, maybe we put in another bearish trigger wave. That is possible. But the last weekly green dot that we got gave us a pretty significant move back up into this range. So that is just another thing aligning with, a potential range rotation here. Maybe it only rotates us up to the point of control. That is going to be a significant area, but maybe it can rotate us higher. That is what I'm looking at with the weekly. Daily time frame, money flow is looking good. I like the way that money flow is looking right now. It is steadily moving to the upside. It looks like it's even picking up speed. If we really zoom in here, it almost has this outward curve to it. At least, in the beginning it does. It seems to be, going at more of an inward angle now. But, every little movement doesn't necessarily reflect how it's going to continue. I think this can, easily just continue growing. I think we had a pretty long stay in the red here, and now it's finally crossing back into the green. The VWAP and momentum definitely look like we have more upside. This does not look like it's ready to top out. The VWAP is nowhere close to the 0 line at this point. So I think based on the daily, we still have more upside. And now checking out the midterm timeframes. Are we seeing any kind of divergence or any sign of weakness here? No, I am not. I am seeing higher highs with money flow. I'm seeing higher highs with momentum. And overall, things just look good. We see good direction with momentum. We see good direction with money flow. We even see good direction with the VWAPs as they're putting in higher lows. And I think it is the same exact story on the 3-hour. Higher highs with basically everything. We do have a slight lower high here with the VWAP, but that is not too important to me. If momentum is looking this bullish, if money flow is looking this bullish, then what I am getting from this at the moment is a continuation. It's looking pretty strong. It's looking like we will probably continue this up move. Doesn't mean we can't have retracements. We could see momentum come down, cool off, and get ready for that next push to the upside. Maybe we do need a larger retracement, but overall, I think things look strong as we are breaking back into the value area of the range. So, all things considered, I think we probably head towards the POC next, and then we'll see what happens from there. And I probably should make sure that that POC is still accurate because these volume levels have been switching on me. I've been keeping track of so many of them, but it is still the point of control. So, 67K just about. Is going to be a very significant level for me, and it did adjust slightly, it looks like. So yeah, now it is 67K. And, one more thing I will point out here, we are seeing a lot of longs open up since we've broken back into this range. So at first we had a bunch of shorts get stopped out as we took out that high, with CVD getting moved to the upside, OI getting a move to the downside. But since then, we've continued to see CVD and open interest increasing, which shows that longs are opening up. Looks like longs took some profits or closed out on this little retracement, and now we are seeing longs open up yet again with CVD and open interest getting a move to the upside, a pretty significant one at that, which could be a good thing or a bad thing for my trade. It could be a good thing because, well, there's a lot of people thinking we continue to the upside. That is fuel to the fire, but there's also a lot of people in long trades that could get wrecked at the same time as me potentially. So that's just more liquidity to be swept if we do get a larger retracement. So, it's not like it helps me that much, but I guess it's good to know that there are people opening up longs at the moment. Alright, well, I think that is going to be it for this video. So, thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, consider leaving a like, subscribing to the channel, leaving a comment. All that helps to support the channel, and I appreciate it. And I will see you all in the next video.